babies.
Thank you, Irene.
Thank you.
Thank you, Irene.
Yeah, I'm a little bit out of it. Because my fucking glasses keep fogging up.
Great shirt, by the way.
It's tails all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Nice one, Stingray.
That could not have been more perfect. Swear to God.
We all lost our shit.
He's not going to be happy when that goes out.
Neither will Irene.
Is she ever?
No.
When we
Leon
talked to, hold on, remember on a 300 show, something that we all forgot, the very first Stern email that I got from Ray's dad about the one-eyed Irene joke. The very first.
Yeah.
First angry email we ever got.
Uber Ray sent him there pretty regularly for a while. Seems like he was a little salty.
Not only it came on Facebook Messenger too. That's how you know he was angry.
Couldn't wait to formulate an actual email, or didn't know how, so he just went straight to the messenger.
Fuck this! I'm going right to the messenger. How dare you?
And then the next one came without a subject or like a header. We gave him shit for that, so then he came with.
And it started coming with subject lines. Yeah.
I think at the time we didn't even have an email address. That's how fucking long ago. That was like this time last year.
Well, there you go. There you
I
go.
don't think we had one yet.
Nope.
And now look at us now. Welcome to the Simple Minds Sports Show. Wednesday headlines, June 30th. Didn't think I would get that one, did you? Welcome to the show.
Did not.
I was ready to help.
Anything going on for the 30th? What's your calendar say?
Nothing.
Oh fuck! All right.
Yeah, we are in the dog days. We are in the dog days.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're going to do vacation. We're going to do the first ever Simple Minds show vacation. Bill has had several, but we're going to do the first ever.
Look at him. He's starting to smile all over again. The Grinch's heart is growing 3 sizes too big.
I love vacation.
How the sea sold age. All right. The vacations are brought to you by White Birch Brewing. White Birch Brewing out of Nashville, New Hampshire. Address, please.
460 Amherst
The
Street.
good side of Amherst Street. Get down to the tap room. Get yourself a flight. Get yourself a pint. Get yourself a hat. Don't get one for your friends. Bill's wearing one now. We are not.
Because he's taunting us.
Because he's taunting us. If you can't get down to the brewery, then buy it at your local beer store. Stay away from Mammoth Road. Bill will shoot you if you touch one of his hose. Other than that, get it wherever you can get it. Wherever you get it, tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. White Birch Brewing. All right, boys. I don't know how much you've been paying attention to the Celtics news. It's the offseason, not a lot going on. But I thought it would be interesting to touch on the Ime Udoka announcement that came from the Celtics. It took a while for them to make the announcement.
Ooh, not a Duke.
Whatever.
There's an A at the end.
Well, I don't know. It's whatever nationality he is. It's a Duke. Ooh.
Ime Udoka?
Yep.
So you just kind of throw it. You just kind of throw it away.
Yep.
I'm not trusting you. There's no way.
And that was a layup mom joke too. I let it pass.
Yeah, you guys bet the quota already.
New show, Raymond.
New show, Raymond.
Tuesday.
Mother's a whore.
And we went over on the last one. So technically, I mean, we're still on quota, bitch tits.
What the fuck?
Does mine even count? It was so heavy-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Your mother is a whore.
Did you get a chance to listen to some of his talk coming out? Obviously, the presser with Brad Stevens, and then he did interview with 98.5. Let me just give you. I don't have the actual quotes here, but I'll just give you my kind of initial thoughts. So I think the big things out of it, he's pumping up the Jays as he called them pillars of the organization moving forward. Terrific young talent. He created a relationship with them at the Worlds. He's seen them up close and personal. They swept the Sixers in the bubble when he was part of the Sixers. The Nets beat Jason Tatum just this past year. I don't know. I thought there's a lot of fluff like there normally would be in a press conference like this, but there was a couple good things that I thought he said. the one that's getting play is I'm going to be on these guys' ass and they want me to be. Do you believe that, Ray? Do you like how much do you? Yeah, give me your initial takes on Udoka. Udoka.
I thought he threw shade at Brad Stevens, which I liked, bringing up the whole 27th in the league for assist, basically saying that's not going to be my kind of basketball. I want to see more team basketball, more passing. So I like that because Brad was sitting right next to him. So that's kind of throwing shade at Brad. And then if it's true that the Jays want them to be pushed hard, that's also throwing shade at Brad, saying that, you weren't pushing your superstars enough. They want to be pushed. They want to be challenged, and you didn't do your job. So I kind of enjoyed hearing him say that.
Bill, do you think Brad Stevens didn't push these guys, or do you think they didn't like the way that he pushed them?
They didn't like the way they pushed them.
I asked the question because I find it hard to believe that Brad Stevens. Look, the Kemba relationship deteriorated by reports because he pushed Kemba too hard on defense, and Kemba didn't like it. So
I think it's just the way. Yeah.
Also, I just stop you too. When have you ever heard Brad Stevens swear? Ime did it during the press conference.
I don't trust anyone that doesn't swear.
What do you think how do you think
But
Brad
I also
pushed
don't trust anyone that doesn't drink. So, I mean.
Yeah, so you're going to catch 22 there. But yeah, I mean, G. Willikers, Batman, fucking Brad Stevens swearing at these guys, gosh, golly, that's probably not how these guys want to be pushed. Also, it's an African-American player that knows how he can get, behind these guys and help them, go to that next level. We call them budding superstars. I think he knows how to work with these kids and get them to that next level.
Maybe. I don't know anything. I don't think we know anything about this guy to say that he knows how to get anybody anywhere. I just think, we were saying it all year that the message ran stale. I still think Brad Stevens is a good basketball coach. I think he knows what he's saying, but clearly
they just tuned him out.
These guys didn't want to listen to him anymore. So whatever that reason is, we've said this before, just the freshness and the newness of a coach should be enough. And the relationship that they've built should be enough to take. I just question, do they really want to be pushed? Do 23 and 24-year-olds really want to be sworn at, Ray? Do they? Do $100 million 24-year-old really want to be saying, get the fuck back on defense or you're sitting your ass down?
Maybe that's what they needed. I mean, look at Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown came out and said he wanted an African-American coach.
The answer is different. No, they don't.
It's not. No, it's not different. This is what they want. So if they wanted that and that's what they got an African-American coach.
An African-American coach doesn't automatically mean they get sworn at.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
That might be the most racist thing that's ever been said on this program.
No, what I'm saying is Jaylen Brown wanted that's what he wanted. Now he's coming out and saying Jaylen Brown wants to be pushed. Jason Tatum wants to be pushed. I think that's what he's coming out and telling the truth. You guys are saying like you think it's all far-fetched that they didn't want that. I'm saying that this is what they do want. It's true. What they're saying is true.
I got you.
I'm not saying it's not true. I mean, like, to answer Rich's question, it's just Brad wasn't motivating them enough or pushing them in the right ways. I mean, if it is making Kemba cry like a little bitch about getting on defense, I mean, it's probably one of those things where he was the singled out player. He's not trying to get on these other guys where, now maybe Udoka or Duco, whatever the fuck his name is.
We're going to need to come up. We're going to need to get to the bottom.
We don't do well with names.
Yeah, no, but this one we have to do well with.
Yeah, we're going to say a lot.
We're going to say a ton. A fucking ton. But I mean, like, he might have just singled out, Walker. And that was the different motivation where those guys see that the last couple of years, especially after the Kyrie bullshit, when he's in there and they just tuned it out. We've been saying it for 2 years. I thought going back to the bubble, they were kind of tuning this guy out last year. And then this year just proved it. I think this team's supposed to be better than they were. You guys had them going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Ray, you think you had them winning it or vice versa? I don't know.
I had them losing in the first round.
But no, you didn't. But I mean, they just tuned them out. So I mean, yeah, now they're going to get a guy that's going to hopefully hold the whole team accountable, and then really ride these guys' asses.
Yeah,
duty of mother, Ray.
God damn it! I was going to say that. Shit.
I think it's more of just a change. Like it's more of just Brad Stevens didn't. He lost it. Like 8 seasons with one team.
Yeah, it's the respect thing.
That's not very common in the NBA. Messages run dry. I honestly don't think that's a good or bad thing. I was less hard on Brad Stevens this past season than you guys were, because I don't think I was really hard on the players, because I think as professionals you should show up and play your hardest every single time you get out there. It's not up to your coach to motivate you, and I don't think that's what Ime Udoka or Duco is going to do either. I don't believe that he's going to ride their asses. This is not college. You're fucking professionals. You're going to be told what to do, and maybe he'll tell them when they're not doing it correctly. Maybe Brad was not doing that in the best way possible to get the most out of him. But he's not going to fucking bench Jason Tatum. This is not college. This is not high school. You don't ride guys' asses in the NBA. They tell you to fuck off because they're making $100 million. They don't give a shit.
Most of those guys make more than a week than their coaches make all year.
Ride their asses. How? Like what? They're not going to be sworn at. I don't think that's the way. And maybe he knows that. Maybe like we're thinking about it differently. Maybe he understands it. His idea of riding their asses is different and showing them what to do and what not to do, telling them when to shoot, not what not to shoot. Beautiful segue, Rich. Marcus Smart, the elephant in the room, was not really mentioned in the first press conference with Ime, although the Jays were mentioned consistently. The last interview with 98.5 the other day, Marcus Smart, I think Hardy was doing the interview, asked Ime directly, what is Marcus Smart role in this team? And Ime's response was he's a leader. He said he's the heart and soul of this team at times, is the way he said it. He never mentioned his skill set. He said he plays hard. He's tough. I have a relationship with him. He said he's the only guy that didn't back down when he was in the Worlds and playing against the starters, for lack of a better term. I think that they have a pretty good idea of what Marcus Smart is and what he isn't. And with this new regime, if you want to call it, that they're going to try and make that pretty clear. And maybe not in a trade, but make it, if he's going to stay on the team, they're going to make it clear what his role is, Ray.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I don't think he's going to be here on this team. I think that's the next trade piece to go. I mean, he's got the best contract to get away. So I think Marcus Smart and maybe Bill's boy, Robert Williams, is on their way out. I think that's the next move because you don't have a point guard still. This team lost Kemba Walker. Marcus Smart is not a point guard.
Rabbit. Put some respect on his name.
No, he's not a starter in this league. You need a point guard. So I think Marcus Smart's on the next wave out.
It wouldn't surprise me if they do move him, but he is an expiring contract. I think he's 13 or 14 this year. So I mean, he's gonna get a raise. Might as well try to get something. I mean, I feel more comfortable paying Evan Fournier around that $20 million than I feel more comfortable paying him $20 million than I do Marcus Smart, and that's the going rate right now. So I mean, if the next shoe to drop, it's got to be Marcus Smart. But the ownership seems to love him, and I just don't want Brad Stevens fucking loves him, and this is what scares me. I think as a Celtics fan, even though I fucking hate basketball, but as like you still have to wonder if he loves him because the salary cap ramifications are huge. 2022 is the guy we're all trying to chase Bradley Beal, right? That's the next free agent class that's going to be good that you can sign. You can't go signing Bradley Beal if you got $22 million lined up to Marcus Smart, which is probably what he's going to get.
Yeah, something close to that. And that's kind of the question that I have. Doesn't it feel a little bit off with this guy? Doesn't it still feel like
I hope they Belichick it?
This is Brad's team. Like he's kind of still pulling the strings here. I mean, he's the president of basketball operations. I guess that's your job, but I don't know. It just kind of seems like Ime is going to be given a team, and that's the team that you have to coach. And your say, I don't know if he has I don't know how much say he has in it right now. Is I guess the point I'm trying to make.
Well, if Brad didn't like what Danny did and didn't give him the team that he wanted, why would Brad do that to Ime? You know,
because power corrupts and absolute power.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying.
Did you hear Wick on the radio today?
I did not.
That fucking he was so cunty. When you get a chance, I listened to it for like 5 minutes, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done. But the 5 minutes, they kept asking him about Brad Stevens and like how did the whole process of Danny stepping down, and he was like flat out denying everything, and then he's like, I put Brad Stevens' name on the list. He's just like, yeah, I told Danny, give me a list. Right before we interviewed everybody, I put Brad Stevens on the list. He's like, you know what? I'm not answering this, but you got to listen to it. He was such a cunt.
I kind of hate that. It kind of makes me feel not that great about the future of the Boston Celtics.
Which is why, yeah. Ugh.
I like the Ime sign. I mean, it checks the boxes. But I think, he's a good guy for the team right now. But I think the rest of the stuff going on is, I don't know. I don't know if it's on the level. I don't think it's that great. Danny Ainge certainly was fired. He's now up for a Utah job as a consultant. We were told that he needed to take time off because of health concerns and blah, 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 blah. No one likes being fucking lied to. Brad Stevens got fired and then promoted because they just gave him an extension and the team quit on him. So, yeah, he's here because you owe him $30 million or whatever.
Hopefully Duke takes him so he can get rid of that fucking money. Holy shit.
I mean, Wick
You're
can't come out
never going to get rid of that money.
Wick can't come out and say that. However, let me jump ahead here. Chauncey Billups just signed with Portland. I don't know where I heard this, but I heard something about Ime Udoka got 3 years and $3 million per for his job, which is pretty low on the lower side for an NBA head coach.
Stevens got what, 5 or 6?
He was between 5 and 7 million. Do you think? Here's some conspiracy theories. Get a life, loser. Do you think that Chauncey Billups turned down the Celtics offer not because of the situation, but because they lowballed him?
Yep. I bet you can make that at when he was working at ESPN, wasn't he, at the time? Like before all this, before he got an assistant coach job, he was probably making that at ESPN.
I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Paul Pierce didn't seem too concerned when he got fired from ESPN. They were probably lowballing him too, and then he jumped into coaching. I mean, yeah, at $3 million. Like I said, Brad Stevens coming out of Butler made $5 million. What he signed for 6 years at $30 million was his first, and now you're cut that in half by years and a shit ton of dollars.
Now that's speculation, and the speculation, I believe, because of everything revolved around Brad Stevens, how much money they owe him. So
Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens, I mean,
they were talking.
How much was Danny making? A couple million?
Oh, I don't know. He was there for a long time. I mean,
18 years, man. He probably made more than that.
They're probably sick of paying Ainge and fucking Stevens. I mean, if they were making the same, so 6 to 7 million, that's $14 million between the coach and the front office.
Let me sum this up. The Celtics ownership came to a head in this offseason that number one, the coach lost the team. At any point in time in the NBA, generally when that happens, you fire the coach. They couldn't because they just gave him a 6-year or 5-year extension. They owed him way too much money to fire him, and they couldn't bring back the same exact situation, or you risk losing your young superstars. In that same time period, in the social justice era that we're in, Danny Ainge went out there on the heels of Kyrie Irving calling Boston racist and said, "Fuck that! I've never heard of anything in 26 years." On the golf cart with shitty reception, acting like he didn't give a fuck about what's going on in social justice. Wick had to go, "What the fuck, man? Like, what the fuck, guys? You're all done. You're all fired. You're out. Peace out. I can't get rid of you, Brad. I owe you $30 million. Is there any coaching job you want to go get? Indiana's open. No, they're a shithouse. Fine. Here's president of operations. See what you can do for the next couple of years until I can eat some of your money." That's what happened. That's what happened.
You know what's funny too? Like the NBA, it must be because they have a coaches union or whatever. Their contracts, they get every single dollar of that, no matter where they sign.
Look
it up. Look it up. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty confident if he gets another job, that money goes away. I'm pretty sure.
They could buy him out.
No, if he quits and goes to another team, that money's off the books. But if he gets fired, they have to eat that.
That makes sense. That's generally the case.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why they can't fire him. That's what I was
exactly.
saying.
That's why I'm saying. Right. I hope he goes to Duke. When Coach K retires, I hope he's front in line for that.
Well, that being said, the moves that they're making have all been check marks. They've all been pretty good. I mean, they went. Now let's see if OKC flips Kemba for something significant and decent.
It's rumored.
We'll have to see the deal. They got a ton of picks. If they package a ton of good picks with them, it'll all be circumstantial. Last piece on the Celtics stuff. Dame Lillard is rumored to now want out of Portland.
I don't think it's rumored. I think he wants out.
Chauncey Billups is now in the headlines.
Did you hear his press conference?
Yeah,
1997.
Rough. And the Celtics offered him a job. So what does that say? Dame Lillard, you trade Jaylen Brown for Damian Lillard?
Yep.
Let me give you the parameters.
Nope, don't need to. Yep.
Do you win? Okay, let me ask you this question, right? Do you win with a team that is Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, and Marcus Smart as your 3 best players?
Smart has to go too, though.
I'd trade Marcus Smart for
Fine.
a pick.
Evan Fournier, even better.
What about if you take Marcus Smart, trade him to Golden State, get James Wiseman, and bring him
Get
over
the
here?
fuck
Who the-
out
where
of
the-
here.
You sound like every
You sound
idiot
like an asshole.
caller on Felger and Maz. You're a green team and moron.
The deal with trading for Damian Lillard is you can't afford a third max player down the line. You can't do it.
He's
on a
making
rookie deal.
$44
He'll get
million.
40 and he's going to be 31. I get the player is better than Brown. I like the idea of bringing an older star to play with Jason Tatum, 28, 29, 30, 31, whatever. Kawhi Leonard, whatever.
With a chip on his shoulder.
That as
But I don't want to
idea.
do it at the cost of Jaylen Brown. Period.
You've been saying all along that Jalen and Jason can't play together. That one of them has to go. You've been saying
but not for
months.
Damian Lillard at 31. That's the problem. He's 24 years old. You can get a better player than Damian. Not a
Damian
better
Lillard's
player,
one of the best players in the NBA. But the
he's
problem with
31
Damian
years old.
Lillard is the money. The problem with Damian Lillard is
Because
the
you got the
money.
Supermax. Yeah,
Because you can't. I mean, you can, but it'll be really hard. You have to eliminate your entire roster and start with Tatum, Damian Lillard, and whoever wants to come on a max deal, and then rebuild with the pennies you have left. Even that, you're not guaranteed a championship.
But wouldn't that set you up better for 2022? Wouldn't that get you
No,
more?
you don't have the money.
No. Jaylen Brown's 4 for 120 or
making
112. Something. He's making like 23
He's making
million.
like half of what Damian Lillard's making.
So I mean, you got to throw in Marcus Smart, is going to Robert Williams, and probably 3 first-round draft picks to get him. Like if you're going to move Jaylen Brown, which I've been a big fan of, I feel like you can get more. You can get more players that you can better fit around Tatum, because the cost that it's going to cost to get Damian Lillard, it's too high for me to move Jaylen Brown for.
Let me ask you this question, Red. Here's your two scenarios. This year, 2021, you trade Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, and you get Damian Lillard. And then next year, maybe you can lure in, I don't know, some middled star for less than the max and try and go win like that. Or you wait until next season. You have Brown, Tatum, whoever you want, and you just sign Bradley Beal. Is Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown better than Dame Lillard, Jason Tatum, and whatever fodder you want to put in there?
Of course, yes.
I think that's
I don't
the
know
play.
how do you think those three would work together though?
I don't think they're like great.
I don't think they're great, but I like the idea. I like the idea of selling out for Beal because I've been telling this for a year. Jason Tatum is your team. He is your future. You do everything to make that work, and by all accounts, Bradley Beal is the guy to make that work. And if it takes trading Jaylen Brown this year to assure Beal comes because he wants to come this year, then I do that. And I don't want to trade Jaylen Brown, but I don't think Bradley Beal is. He's a terrific scorer. I don't think he's Dame Lillard, honestly, but it's about Tatum. It's about keeping Tatum. And if you have all three of those, and you find out it doesn't work, then you can move Jaylen Brown for a nice little package in return and figure out the pieces from there. It's about Tatum. It's about bringing something back to maintain this for the next 5, 6, 7 years.
Before you go to, if you move Brown for Damian Lillard, where is that going to put you in the scope of the NBA? You're still not a championship caliber team. Now you just gave up 7 years gap where you could build on these young kids. I get it. I'm not the biggest Jaylen Brown fan. I want them to trade him, but this year you can move him next year. For Lillard right now, you're giving up too much for a team. You have a short window. You're shortening your window by at least 6, 7 years moving on from Brown to Lillard. I was all for when I thought he was 27, 28 years old, and you told me 31. I said, I'm out. That's a big window. I mean, he's a undersized shooting guard. He's going to start breaking down. We've seen it with Kemba Walker, Gordon Hayward, say what you want. Even Al Horford, a big guy. All these guys they bring in around this 31-year-old age that they've signed have all broken down right now. You can't give up a fucking young budding superstar for a guy that you don't trust is going to stay healthy. And I know he's been healthy for most of his career, but now's the time. So is Al Horford. So is Kemba Walker. And then they just fell off a cliff health-wise. That's a big factor in giving up a fucking 7-year age gap in Brown to Lillard.
Can I
It
just ask
doesn't.
you?
It doesn't make you better too. There's too many teams. There's still 7-8 teams in the NBA.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What begets you more? Because obviously you're going to need to do free agency. You're going to either scenario. You're going to have to get the veterans to come and buy in veteran minimum contracts. So because you got to have cheap because you're spending too much money. Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard. What scenario gets you got that more veteran presence to come here?
Bradley Beal, because Damian Lillard can't get fucking people to go to Portland. That's the biggest fucking thing. Like, what's the biggest? Excuse me?
He did get Carmelo Anthony to go there.
If it's Carmelo Anthony, Jason Tatum, and Damian Lillard, do you win a championship?
No, of course not.
I'm just saying.
Melo's
You're gonna
actually
have to play that
decent.
scenario, though. You're gonna have to play that scenario. You're gonna have to bring veterans in because that's how you're gonna be able to build around these guys.
And truthfully,
money's gonna be gone.
neither one of them have brought guys to Washington or Portland on cheap deals. And don't forget, Washington's always had better teams with John Wall there. When John Wall was healthy, him and Bradley Beal were disgusting.
You also don't bring guys. The idea of bringing guys to Boston is, I don't know.
It's history. We'll get him there. And Jason Tatum's probably
Tatum
better
and
than
Jaylen Brown might bring guys on their own. I don't know if
Tatum will.
Yeah,
I think Tatum's the guy.
So then it would be the Tatum and Beal, Tatum, Brown, and Beal then.
Yeah, I don't know how they work together on the court. I think that Tatum and Brown have a lot of growing up to do on the court in terms of getting better. I want to see them. My ideal scenario is not trade any of them and see your homegrown talent go out there and win. I think that's the most fun thing to root for.
Except for Marcus Smart.
Tatum. Beal, Towns, and Tatum. How do they work together?
Oh my God. Don't
Beal, don't do it to him, Bill. Don't do it.
Don't.
We have to move on. We're really late on the thing. I just wanted to touch on this Paul George news.
Put some respect
not even
on
news.
Playoff P.
41 points in his after interview. Quote, "It's just facts. I get picked on more than any other star in the league."
What a baby bag bitch.
Has he not heard of Ben Simmons?
I can't even say it without a straight face. This guy, what a fucking prick. This guy forced his way out of Indiana to get to Oklahoma City, said, I'm not moving, I'm not leaving here. And then Kawhi said, why don't you come to LA? And he went, get me the fuck out of here.
Don't forget, after he signed a max extension.
And has continued to underachieve the entire time, and he wants to bitch. And I just have to give you this DeMarcus Cousins quote too. Speaking about an underachiever, quote, I don't know where this trolling bullshit is coming from, where the internet controls the narrative about these players. It's becoming foolish, man. Like I said earlier in the year, that's one of the most special players to ever lace his shoes up. He said, quote, give this dude his flowers, man. I don't understand the slander. It's become quite silly now. Respect these players, man. Respect these greats. Is Paul George a great? Is he one of the best ever to lace? Paul George? Paul George?
No.
What the fuck are we doing, NBA?
Nope.
What are we doing? I don't even want your thoughts on this. I think
you'd be tied in this series if you could make 2 free throws with 8 seconds left, up 1.
Go Suns.
Is that the same Paul George?
Yeah, that would be the same one.
Okay,
go
just
Suns,
checking.
Clips, game 6, they're coming up.
Let's go.
Bucks,
I do have some breaking news.
Oh, breaking news.
Trevor Bauer is under investigation from police in Pasadena after allegedly domestic violence dispute.
Good. Fuck that guy. Not good on the domestic violence, but fuck Trevor Bauer. Last NBA point, and then we're going to call it a night. I think we're late. Scottie Pippen.
You finally read it.
Has this guy always just been this fucking crazy, this big of a shithead? So on the Dan Patrick show, well, before the Dan Patrick show,
let's go to The Last Dance.
CTE much?
The Last Dance was...
Last Dance basically painted this guy as an insufferable douchebag.
And then he called, and then he said Kevin Durant was the... No, he said, sorry, right. Well, you know it. What is the... I have heat stroke.
Something about like getting the last... Oh, fuck. I have to look it up. Hold on.
Either way, he called out Kevin Durant. He said that he shot too much. He didn't make enough players better than him. He didn't really have a good understanding for the game. If he did, then they would have won Game 7 essentially against the Bucks. KD then said, "Isn't this the guy that got mad about Phil Jackson drawing up a play for Turkoglu and he sat his ass on the bench?"
Kukoc.
When I say Turkoglu,
yeah,
same thing. And then Scottie Pippen in this last day or two went on the Dan Patrick show and was asked about that. And essentially said Phil Jackson was racist for drawing up a play for Kukoc. Dan Patrick followed up and said, "Are you calling Phil Jackson racist? Was he racist?" Scottie Pippen said, "Yep."
What an idiot.
A fucking lunatic. What an absolute lunatic.
So I got the quote. It's about LeBron. It says, "But have you ever seen LeBron take a shot like that? He ain't gonna take that shot. He's gonna be smarter. He's gonna force a double team. That's what KD wasn't able to do. He was so exhausted he couldn't even go for the bucket. And then KD came back and said, didn't the great Scottie Pippen refuse to go in the game for the last second shot because he was in his feelings? His coach drew up for the better player than shooter." What a bitch.
What an absolute lunatic.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. I mean, how do you paint Phil Jackson? And Phil Jackson hasn't even came out and said anything, which is good on him. But fucking Scottie Pippen, your life's a mess. Your wife left you. I mean, Jesus Christ. See some counseling, bro.
You know what he could do? He could treat himself to some CBD from Back to Basics. CBD, all natural health remedies. Bill knows about this from Billy Badwing. He doesn't have a shoulder anymore. He uses it to ease his pain. Bill, what's your go-to remedy there?
I use the 300 milligram, just rub on cream.
Get yourself feeling right. I like to put it on the bottom of my feet for a good night's sleep. Wherever you use your CBD, however you use your CBD, general wellness, pain, go to backtobasicsllc.com. That's BAK, the number 2, basicsllc.com. With every order you make there, you get a free sample. It's an absolute no-brainer. You'll end up making money on the deal. It's backtobasicsllc.com. Tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. Real quick, Billy Baseball, Red Sox take another one. That's 4 in a row from the Royals last night, 6-5. Garrett Richards is still a mess. Somehow got through 5 innings. Hunter Renfroe was a story of the night with 2 home runs. Alex Cora called him one of their best players. Do you agree with that?
He's 286 this year. I mean, and then 286 in June. You know, he's got 4 jacks. I mean, 11 outfield assists. You know, most in the league. He has more outfield assists than 19 teams do. So, I mean, he's solidified kind of that lower end of the lineup. He's batting that 5 or 6 hole. I think he's at 6 right now. I mean, he's getting production. I think this is the player they envision. It's every day at bats. You know, at one point he come in, him and Marlon Gonzalez and all those guys, Kiki Hernandez, they were all split in time. You know, the money ball era, small ball era in Tampa, where you're platooning a shit ton of guys, and then you're solidified that right field, and he's playing it like old guys. I mean, that's the hardest right field to play in the majors, and he's doing it. You know, right now he probably could win a Gold Glove. He's one of the best players right now.
Yeah, and remember, he was Heimblum's first free agency signing early last winter.
Can I
Hunter
give you information on the Trevor Bauer?
Yes, please.
Police investigation. Met the girl online. Rough sex, domestic violence.
Rough sex make it hurt. Ludacris told us that back in the day.
It's rough sex that caused the police investigation. I do that to Ray's mom twice a week.
Damn it.
Well, good luck to you. My wife just came down. She's drunk off a margarita and a half. We have to run quick. We're late. Hunter Santiago, the first one, suspended on the sticky icky. 10 games.
Hey, Brad.
10 games. He said all he was using was rosin. And there you go. The rosin got on the glove. Do you believe this guy, or should we? No. Should he be the martyr?
Yeah. Well, you told you it's going to be a no-name player, so we were all right. It's a no-name player. He's going to get the first, punishment, and that's how it's going to go. You're not going to see a superstar get this.
It's kind of bullshit because, like, the rosin thing, like, you could see him earlier in the game. He had it covering both arms. You're allowed to use it, and his excuse was the sweat and the rosin. I mean, it's bullshit. The umpires get to decide this because now you got to appeal it to an arbitrator who works for the MLB. So he's supposed to be neutral, but he works for the MLB. It's kind of bullshit. I mean, you're losing the games, but you're still getting paid. Like, it's just kind of like
The
now
MLB
you're gonna
is fucking it up.
They're
They're gonna
fucking it up.
fuck it up.
This is not what this rule is meant to be. This rule is meant to be the legit stuff that's outlawed. Rosin, sweat, all this stuff. I believe him. I mean, you're going to see it more and more. But now you got a manager that can be like, yo, something's on his arm. Matt said it on the show today. If you want to stop the sweat, put some sleeves on. Get those dry fit.
Well, he was making fun of Garrett Richards. That's why.
No, I know, but I'm just saying you'll stop
I
that
don't believe in the sweat. If they give you rosin, rosin's supposed to stop the sweat. Put it all over your arms. Do whatever you want. You were right on the. It's not supposed to stop this on the ticky tack stuff. Like, just be fucking smarter, baseball. Be smarter. Maybe you're right, Ray. They were looking for a guy to be a martyr, to go out there and suspend and not be a big guy. So just to prove that we're into this. But that's the problem.
But the problem with this is, Rich, and I don't mean to cut you off, is the fact that it's an automatic suspension. You're not sending the glove out to test. You're not doing any of that shit, which you would think you would do.
Then why did they bag it like a CSI scene?
They never sent it out.
It's fucking dumb. They're dumb.
Stupid.
They're dumb. Be transparent about the whole goddamn thing. No one trusts your league. No one likes your league. No one gives a shit about your league. This has created some entertainment, but it's going to get old really fucking quickly. They're going to screw this up. They already have. It's so frustrating. Fuck baseball. They're dead to me. Cocky. Suck it, Canadians. They're going down. Gentlemen sweep. Nope. 4 in a row. Lightning are just getting started. They're going to bury this goddamn team.
Well, then they got Kucherov back. I mean, he played game 1 and was a force. Shea Weber, I think, got fined $5,000 for taking a slash at him. So, I mean, he was all over the ice. 3-4 goals a game. Like, the Canadians have to score at least 4 just to keep up. This team is
no fucking way.
Their little magical run. Bye-bye.
Bill, you said it a couple of shows ago. The Lightning, they're $18 million over the cap, and they're just getting their legs underneath them.
Yeah.
Like, they're just Stamkos and Kucherov. They're just coming back.
They've played 19 games now, I think, is somewhere. Because I said this at 16 games when they were up 3-2 against the Islanders. Like, they're just coming back. They missed 50. What did they play? 56 games. They sat out the whole fucking season to rehab, get healthy, and then been forced. Kucherov hasn't scored a goal, but he had 22 assists in 16 games.
It's absolutely
he won the scoring title 3 years ago. The year they won 120 points, he scored 127 points. Like, he's that fucking good. And Stamkos is 50, 60 goal scorer. Like, it's ridiculous how fucking loaded this team is.
They might go gentleman sweep just because the Lightning take a night off.
Or Carey Price will steal him one, I think.
We'll see.
They might. That's the only way they're going to win a game. He has to stand on his fucking head.
Right. NFL alternate helmets have been approved. You want the Pat Patriot or you want the 90s? You want
90s.
that? You want the 90s?
I want the Elvis Patriot right on the fucking shoulder. Bring those back. Those are fucking sexy.
No, Pat the Patriot. They never should have got rid of it. They could have changed up the colors. That's their best fucking logo. The original logo. Go to that. I love that. I always like the red throwback jerseys.
It's really hard to get away from, but we've never seen the 90s. It might be kind of cool. It doesn't matter if any of them.
If they do, bring back those. Remember those ugly silver ones they used to wear?
Yep. Those are gross.
Who has the best? The worst one. Who would be the best outside of the Chargers? Because those aren't throwback anymore. They already wear those powder blues.
Can I throw you a sleeper?
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks.
Ooh, nice.
I enjoyed those.
Weren't they the dark blue?
They were dark blue. They had like the long fucking Seahawk on it was like, I don't know, like a box almost. I fucking love those Seahawks jerseys back in the day.
And some of the Green Bay's got the worst throwbacks.
No, Steelers have the worst.
Oh, were there? They look like bees.
The bees,
right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I take it back. And then Tampa's, ugh.
Oh, everyone gets hard on the creamsicle.
Those creamsicles, creamsicles, one are a terrible popsicle, and 2 look even worse on a fucking professional jersey.
Professional athlete.
Can I give you one that's really terrible coming from the Patriots fan? But like the 90s white Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
With the big
the star on the shoulders. Ugh. And no, the whole top was blue. Right?
Yeah, it was like blue.
Here. God, those were so ugly.
Really? I like them. I like them. They usually wear about Thanksgiving now.
Probably just nostalgia, like the Emmitt Smith, like wearing them, and just that we're into it. But all right, we're gonna skip the Tarasenko thing. We'll get to it another day.
Oh, thank God.
No. really okay, good. Ray, Euro. First of all, Euro 2020 when it's 2021. You were told me why they said that because it got canceled in 2020, so they're playing it 2021, but they're calling it 2020. This is why I hate fucking soccer. They're so stupid. It's dumb. But your stupid fuckboy French got upset the other day. So give me a quick soccer minute. We're very late.
Mbappe.
I'm sorry, we're actually ran out of time. Talk
We're
soccer.
so late.
This has been the Simple Mind Sports Show. Wednesday headlines, June 30th. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sling Blade took up our whole night earlier. Bye-bye.
I'm lightheaded. I haven't eaten. Yeah.
Oh.
I have a heat stroke. My wife brought me a bowl of pasta because she was worried about me. And you throw me that? You throw that at me after a fucking 50-minute show?
Nice.
Ooh, I almost
It just
passed out.
fit perfectly. We were running late.
I've had that several times when it, like someone says something very funny and I just see dots and I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. I'm going down.
Air stops going to my brain.
Yeah.
Calling that tournament the Euro 2020 in 2021 is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
That's Euros. It's Europeans. What do you expect?
God, it's dumb.
This is why soccer will never be popular in America. Stupid shit like this.
We just railed on baseball.
Full
tried-
penalties.
I tried paddleboarding yesterday. Oh, I just went swimming the whole time.
You
It
can't
was
even
terrible.
swim. I remember my bachelor party. None of us can swim very well.
I can swim very well, actually.
Or maybe it was
Can't lift your fucking arm. What are you, doggy paddle?
Still can swim. Dude, I fell
hold it.
off. I fell off. I'm like,
How do you
fuck this.
fall off? It's not that hard. It's just kind of
Well,
boring.
he has
Whoa.
one fucking arm. How the fuck are you even paddling?
I've never done dink toad though. That's true.
I,
It's got to be tough.
She
How do
has-
you hold balance with just your heels?